Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Ink and Page, and I'm here with part 3 of the Christmas Advent Bookcase assembly process. Now, we are, as you can tell from my desk here, moving on to our decorating phase. So, what we have done so far is make our flowers, made our book boxes, made our books, made our little gifts, and let's see, was there anything else that we did? I think that's all of them. I did glue the candles together. We have a few other things to do here in this video, so we're going to hop in and get started. I was going to talk about really quickly some of the extra things that I'm going to be using, okay? So I got these two little tiny trees that I want to try to fit onto my bookcase. I don't know if they're going to fit, but I mean, they technically fit, but I don't know how much room I'm going to have on my bookcase based on all the other stuff I want to do. But I have those. I have the candles. These were birthday candles from the last video. I have a couple of mini pine cones. I have a little bit of, this is the faux kind of garland that came from, I believe this is Tim Holtz. I don't know what it's called, but I will look all this stuff up when I'm posting the video. I also dyed some mummy cloth, which is just cheesecloth with a loose weave, on using, okay, this is another one of those situations where, like, I do not have the right color, so what I used was a mix of two colors, which was Bubbling Cauldron mica stain and Specimen mica stain. When I'm doing fabric, I do prefer these sprays. One of the other things you could do too is dilute a re-inker as well, but like I was looking for greens, and this is pretty much what I had in terms of like greens for doing like dyeing and stuff. So that's what I used. I just mixed them together so to get this color, which is basically the color I wanted. I'm not sure, like, I got myself a bunch of stuff because sometimes, like, you know, I just let the spirit move me, and then whatever happens, happens, because, you know, you can plan with the best of them, but it doesn't always work out. So I have, you know, provided myself with a few things to work with here. First thing I'm going to do here is go ahead and just assemble these little book boxes. I wasn't going to do all of them, you know, with you guys because it's that simple to do, but I just wanted to make sure that I did a couple on camera so you were like, okay, this is how it's supposed to go. It just slides right in here. The more you slide it in and out, the easier it gets. So there we go. So these, I'm just going to slide these guys in here, and then that's it. Those are done. Okay. So before we get started with everything else, I want to put some hardware on this, and I'm just going to do it with glue because I don't want to poke any holes in this because it's paper. And so what I'm going to use is some jewelry box hardware. So I have 2 hinges, and I have a clasp, okay? And what I'm going to do is put brads in these holes so that it doesn't look like there are holes missing from this whole situation. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do it real quick. I know I worry about, like, you know, videos being too long, and there's a lot to do in this video, so I'm going to go ahead and just, I'll speed through the actual doing of it after I show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so I have just this little container full of brads here, and then I'm just going to grab a couple, and I'm hoping to use these really tiny ones. And I'm just going to stick them through the holes like that. And then I will split them on the other side. And then I'm going to just trim them off. And I will put a dot of glue on there, probably hot glue. I'm not sure. I don't know how hot glue does on metal. So we'll see what happens here. I have some glossy accents, so I might use that because I have it on my desk and I think it's good for metal. So, okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I hope you can see that on there. It's right there. It's very tiny. These are the, what do you call it? These are Tim Holtz, and they're the ones that have, like, hardware, like, screw things on them, so they have like their flathead or a Phillips mark on them. And then I'm just going to put them all on there. So, okay, so I'm going to do this really fast, and then I will be right back. Oops. Okay, so I put all the little brads in. I had to use different ones for this piece in particular because it had bigger holes. But you can see here, and then I just put glossy accents in the holes so that the brads wouldn't move. And then on some of these, I did cut the brads. They cut with scissors, so it's not that big of a deal to do that. Okay, so a couple things I wanted to mention here are, okay, these little drawers can be a pain to open. If, you know, they are annoying to you, what you can do is I put all these little circles in this kit, and you can use these as pull tabs. Okay, so basically what you want to do is just kind of cut off a little piece of the circle, okay, and then what I've been doing is just bending it on the lines, because that's like the easiest visually cue wise that, you know, that helps. So I cut off like 2 rows, and then I bend it in the middle here, and then you can just attach it onto the end here, and what it will do is it'll just fold under when it's not in use. You know, when you put your book on the bookcase, it'll be, yeah. And then this will help to pull the drawer open. It makes it super easy to get them open. So if you have trouble getting them open, this method is, it's the way to go here. Let's do this is one of my little sample ones. I don't think I'm going to put tabs on my drawers just because. But I'm going to show you on, this is one of my sample drawers that I made, so that's why it's white. Oops, that's got a big glue plug on it. All right, you just put a little glue there. You just put a little one of these there. You can also poke a hole, and you can put a piece of thread through it or string as a little tiny handle. Like you poke 2 holes and just, you probably need to use a needle to get everything through, but once you had it through, it would make a little handle. So this works great as a handle. As you can see, it makes it really easy to pull. Otherwise, you can just use your finger to push it out. So, but I did want to give an option for this situation, just in case, because, you know, it could be annoying if you have trouble getting them out. Okay, so that's that bit of business there. So that's what all the circles are for. So let's go ahead, and I just wanted to give my glue a chance to set here on my stuff, but I think we're going to go ahead. This is kind of the nerve-wracking part. So we're going to go ahead and put the hinges on these. And the first thing that I want to do is look at them and make sure that this whole situation is lined up. This is the bottom, this is the top. So we can close it like this. And then how do I want it to open? Do I want it to open like this, or do I want it to open like this? Okay, I want it to open like this. So I'm going to put my hinges on back here. And like I said, this is totally not necessary. Let me see here. I'm going to try to do this facing this way so that you can see what I'm doing here. I might have to do it this way. I might have to go against my wishes because it's not quite as level on that side for some reason. Okay, so let's see here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my hinges and figure out where I want to put them. When I did this the first time, I used hot glue, and I would not recommend using hot glue for this, for the like actual hinge here. All right, so when you put these guys on, just make sure that your hinge is in the valley. And there's my other one. And I just have to decide where I want these guys. You could measure. Hopefully, got that about right there. Okay, so I'm going to use the glossy accents again because I know that, oops, you can use it on metal. And I'm just going to go ahead and go for this. Ouch. Okay. Oops, I got to get the hinge out that fell in there. And I'm just going to hold that on there. I'm going to flip that side down. I'm going to go ahead and do this side and that side. I'm trying not to mess with it too much. I'm going to put it on this side too. It's not quite straight. Okay, so I held that for just a minute, and now I'm going to go ahead and do this one so that because I have to give this a little bit longer to dry. I'm going to put both glues on this one and see what happens. I'm not as sure about this one with metal, so I think that the combo is probably... Sorry if everything looks giant because I have to stand up for this one. It's about where I want to be. Right about there. Okay, so I set my hinges aside so that they can just have a few minutes to set while I am doing a couple of other things. So what I thought would be fun is to make like a little Christmas card garland. So I'm going to take these little Christmas cards here and I'm going to attach them on this string here. I don't need a very big width because it's, I'm going to grab it really quickly. I'm not supposed to be messing with it right now, but like it's only like say that wide. So we don't need that many on here, just a few. So I thought I would take and put these, a couple of these guys just on the string like this, and then I'll just add a little bit of glue and so that they'll stay. And I thought it would look really cute hanging on my bookcase. So, all right, so let me grab some, I'm just gonna put some glue in the little crease of the card here. And then I'll just put the little string here. This is just some silver string right in there. Oops. There we go. Hold that together. Then I'm gonna do the same thing with this guy here. And then I'll probably put like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 of these on here. And then I also have some candy canes and stuff, so I could hang those from here as well. Let's see, I need to, there's another one with the, did I ink? It looks like I missed this one. Okay. And then I can have like a cute little garland at the top. I was trying to remember because, you know, my parents used to do this when I was a kid. They would hang all the Christmas cards up like this. But I can't remember how they hung up these ones, the like the long ways ones. That would look so cute. Do I have one more? I think, does this one, that one goes that way. That one goes that way. All right, so I Okay, so then what I can do is I'm going to fussy cut up into this a little higher so that I can put this onto the my little Christmas card garland. It doesn't really, it hangs like this, but it'll hang like this, you know, on the little thing. The other thing is I want to put one of these sentiments on mine, and I think I'm going to put Peace on Earth. So what I'm going to do is actually take a couple of these other ones and glue them together in a stack so that this is a little bit chunkier. I know it's kind of weird, but since I don't think I'm going to use these other ones, I want to make my thing more like it's on like some kind of heavy chipboard or something, which it's not going to be, but I thought it would be, this would be like a good way to make it thicker with stuff that is already cut to the right size or thereabouts. Okay, so I'm going to do Peace on Earth. So I'm just going to glue these guys into a stack here. I guess I'm making a lot of stuff for it in this video too, huh? All right. And this is just like a me thing, you know, you could use these however you want. You could put them all over, you could put them on the outside. I just wanted to have like a thicker version of this sign, basically. I need to work quick here because I got to get that even. Okay, so that's pretty even. I was going to grab my scissors here because one of these is slightly longer. I just want everything to be the same. There we go. Okay, so now my sign is a little sturdier, so I think I can get it to stand up on the bookshelf. So this is the one that I'm going to use. And then also let's do our little, I have my little cookie plate here. And I thought I would do a little tiny bit of shaping on that so that I think my little, yeah, it is over here, so that it would look more like a plate, you know? So if I just put some pressure on the green ring here, it should come up and, you know, be like semi more like a plate. It's not going to be perfect, but, you know, at least when it's, oh, maybe I should do it a little bit more. At least it will be like, give it some height, you know what I mean? All right, I've got like 7,000 things on this desk here. Now it's gonna look, I just want it to come up. There we go. So it'll be more like an actual plate than just sitting flat on my bookshelf there. Okay, so I got that there, and then there's like, I got a million things going here. Right, and then I have all my little cookies here, and then if you wanted, I did doubles of the cookies, so if you wanted to make them thicker, you could glue them together. I don't know if they need to be thicker, but, you know, just in case. Like these ones are all the same. Yeah. So anyway, if you wanted to have fatter cookies or whatever, so there's like a little gingerbread man and some snowflake ones and stuff like that for the plate. You can put those on there. All right, I think that's enough of those. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to hold on to this. And then these little label-y fellows are for the books. These looked so cute on the actual books on Halloween that I decided to do them again for this Christmas one. I just love the way the little labels looked. it just gave the books a little bit of extra character. I'm gonna go ahead and do that too right now. There's that. Put this one. And you can put these on your boxes too if you wanted to. I think it's just mostly these guys that benefit from the decoration. This one's pages need a little bit of a trim still. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put that guy aside here. I got my little plate of cookies. I got my present. All right, so we're going to check our hinges now, and hopefully those things are going to be plenty dry, and we can do some decorating. I'm going to grab these guys too, because these are the shelf reinforcers. So they basically go over the shelves. And oh, the other thing I wanted to mention about this is, what did I do with it? I did make some garlands to go on the front of these. This is one of them here. So these will fit across the front. I'll show you. But if you want to put like something fancy on your edge of your shelf here, these are pretty much sized to fit that there. There's two different versions of it. I don't know where the other ones are. I have my candle ones, but I don't have the other ones on my desk right now, but they're in there. Okay, so these are the shelf backs, and this is where I want to put like this type of ephemera. I'm gonna go ahead and put them on the back of the shelf. You may or may not see them, but it's really cool when you see them. Like, it looks nice because it's like a layered effect. So if somebody takes out a book or a box, there's something back there for them to see still. Okay, this one here is, we're gonna fold this one in half and hopefully fit this on one of the shelves. So it'll be like I don't know what that's called, but it'll be like a double-sided frame. Okay, so there's that guy there. And then I have all this other stuff as well. Let's put one of these on here. And then there's other fussy cut ephemera as well. Gonna put one of these on the back. I like it when it looks kind of like a collage-y situation. Here, okay, so I think that one goes like this. Put that there. And of course, any of this ephemera as well, like there's a bunches of these little pieces of ephemera. So we can put like a little candle back there if you want, or a bell. And then a lot of this stuff, like I said, I'll show you the mirror situation on a few of these. Okay, this one has nothing on it, so let's put some on this one. I feel like some of this is like almost like posters on a kid's bedroom wall. it's a little bit easier to get some of this stuff on before you stick them in. It's not impossible once you do stick them in, but it's just a little easier to do it now. See if there's anything else here. There's a chocolate bar. All right, so let's grab our shelves here. Oh, I have this candle. We can put it on this one. Okay, and these ones you don't really see, like they're not in your face, so they're kind of in the background. Okay, so I'm gonna move this stuff temporarily. And then hopefully these are ready for us to go. So we're gonna go ahead and open this carefully. Everything seems to be still connected. There's a little bit of glue right there, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, so these guys we want to put in, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. Here. And then you can just kind of pick where you want to put them. This goes like in here like this, okay? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put a little bit of glue on the back of this. It mostly stays in by itself, but, you know, for the sake of posterity, you want to have a little bit of glue on here. One time I stuck one in and I couldn't get it back out, so they are pretty tight in there. So I got that there. It's nice that I know my shelves are all glued in. So, okay, so let's get the next one. Oops, I'm gonna do the ends of this just really quick. Oh, we're getting ever closer to actually putting the books in. It just seems like there's always like all this other stuff we got to do first. Okay, so that's going to go in there. Push that all the way in, and if you need to, you can use your, what do you call it? Your bone folder to like poke it into the corners there. I don't think I put enough glue down on that one, or this one. We might need a little extra. And a little extra on this one. Okay, and then we're going to go on to the next one. I'm putting some stress on my hinges there. Okay. This one looks like it had an accident with glue on the back of it. I'm not sure what happened. I forgot to put the... Slide that guy in there. And press him back. And then we're going to do our last one here. Oops, ink, then glue. Okay, and then we'll put the last one in. Oh my gosh, you guys, I almost put it in the wrong one. Oh my goodness. Maybe I've been crafting too long today. This did not go all the way back. Kind of want to go in with the bottom first so that it goes all the way back, and then you can go in with your tool to make sure that it kind of adheres back there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is put our stuff in here. So I'm going to start just trying some stuff out here. I know for a fact the big books have to go on the bottom shelf here, because it's the only one that's tall enough, but that doesn't mean you can't use them other places, because you can also put them this way. Okay, so they can go, what did I do there? Okay. Yay. Somehow I'm glad I noticed that and didn't notice, like sometimes I'll see things in the video when I'm editing it afterwards, and oh my goodness. I've always you're always trying to think like one step ahead, right? So that's how that happens. Okay. All right. So basically what I want to do is think about like where my books are going to go, so that when I am putting in my other stuff, I make sure that I have room for all the books that I need to have in here before I start putting stuff in. So I'm going to go with like 4, let's see, we might go 3, one of those. Oops, wrong way. Once I have everything figured out, I'm going to stick my, what do you call it? My numbers on the books, because it's going to dry. The advent calendars we used to get when we were kids, they always were out of order. And so it was kind of fun. So you'd have to kind of like search through and look for, where your next number was. It wasn't going to be right next to the one before it. So, but I don't think I can hack it if the numbers are kind of out of order. I don't know if I can make this work. It'll be tight. Oh, but then I couldn't get the book out. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Okay, so we've got a couple more of these still. I might have more than 24 books. I'll have to count. And then if I do, I will just take them off. So we could do that. Oh, actually, we don't want to do that. If I have more than 22 books or 24 books, then I will maybe use some of them decoratively, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. What did I do with my, oh, here's my greeting card strings, because I have to figure out, okay, where do you want to put that? Put that like here. And then once I kind of figure that out, I can start adding in my other stuff too. Because I have my candles, I have pine cones, I have my other books, I have my present, I have cookies for Santa here, which I think I'm going to go ahead and put like on top of like one of these book piles here. And, oh, I have all my flowers and my garland. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this candle so it's basically, they're all the same height. And I'm gonna see where I can, okay, so I can put that. This feels good for here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is kind of just lay them out here, and then I will put them like, have everything like, you know, do all the decorating around it. Like adding in, oh, I forgot. Okay, so what I did is I have these stockings, so I want to put those on for sure. Okay, so I have 4 of these, and here's the other 4. Oops, do I have 3 or 4 here? No, I got them all. Okay, so basically the way that these are set up, like I mentioned before, is they are mirrored. So basically what we can do, one of the I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but one of the things I thought would be cute, and one of the things is why I had some of these bigger things, is I just thought it might be cute to have something like this on the bookcase, or the little nutcracker fellow here, to have him like guarding the bookcase. I just thought it might be cute. I don't know. So I made a doll as well, so that there would be 2, just in case. But, you know, I just thought it might be cute. It would impede closing the bookcase, but you can just have it open all the time. I mean, if I decide to put this on here, then maybe I don't put a closure on it, right? So that it doesn't get smushed when we close it. I probably would display it open anyway. Okay, anyway, okay, so let's talk about the stockings really quickly before I completely go off and forget what I'm doing. So they can be glued back to back, so that, let's see here, I gotta get the right one. That is not the right one. Is this it? Yep. All right, so these can be glued back to back so that they're the same on both sides. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue on these, and then once I have them glued, I'm gonna go ahead and ink them around the edges. All right, so now no matter which way you look at this, it's the same. And I know a bunch of you guys have been asking me to do this, so I'm sorry that it took me so long. But like, for me, like when I do stuff like this, I need to figure a system out before I can do it, right? So otherwise it'll just be random and I won't like remember to repeat it. So basically now I made myself a little, you know, system on how I'm going to do this. Oh, this might be really cute if we hang these like on the corners of the shelves. So let's do that. I'm going to glue these together really quickly. I may have to get up and let Pickle back in because he left and has a lot of regrets about the fact that he left. So he's crying at my door. All right, so what do we think about? I think that's pretty cute. I think what we'll do is put the smaller ones here, and then I can put the bigger ones here. All right, so I'm going to glue these guys together. I'm going to try to figure out a workaround here because I want to put a clasp on mine, but I also want to put ephemera all over the sides of it. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to work that out. I may have to give up my clasp idea, but we'll see. because I love to decorate stuff like this. It's super fun to get to this point. It's, you know, it's a bunch of cutting and gluing and planning and all that, but when you get to the point where like you're putting the books on the bookcase and everything, that is just the most fun part. Where did I do with the other stocking? Okay, so now I've got that stocking there. I want to do this little guy. I'm going to glue him together so I can have him in case I want him for this, because I might be able to use him as a stand-in for my big one. And then I can have all the things that I want. We'll see what happens here. I'm thinking about putting him on the inside here. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. In order to have this look like I want it to look, but still have the books be removable, I have to make a couple of little adjustments in terms of how things are arranged and how I arrange them, so that basically what I'm going to do here is have these books here like this, right? But I'm going to glue this present in so that it holds the books the way that I want them to stay when they're in the bookcase. Okay, so I just wanted to give you some, like, what my thinking is on how I'm doing this. Okay, I'm going to trim the ends of this package because they are very long. And then there are some tags in, I'm like, which container did I put those in? But there are some tags for like presents and stuff in the kit, so you can just add those on there, and if you want, you can write a little name on it if you're giving this as a gift, or if it's just for you, you can write your own name on it. Right, so we can put this right on the package so it looks like it's you know, ready to go under the tree. Then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this thread that I made, and I'm going to, I do have some moss in, like, what do you call it, in the wings here, just in case I need it, because I figured it could double pretty well for, like, you know, pine boughs or evergreen or garland or, you know, whatever you want to call it. But I do want to have the present kind of sitting amidst something. I don't want to just have it like sitting on the shelf, right? So I'm going to just have this kind of fluff it up, and then I'll put this around the present, and then I'll put the present in here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach the green, what do you call it? The, oh my gosh, my brain. The mummy cloth to this present before I put it in, so that it's a little bit easier for me to control how it looks. There we go. And then like this. Basically, I kind of want it to look like it's on the floor of Christmas morning, you know, and it's surrounded by, what do you call it? Like other wrapping paper and stuff like that. Right, so I'm going to take my stockings off temporarily. All this on here because I need to just, I guess I could just stand up. Huh. Just so I can see how this is going to go into the bookcase. And if you wanted to, and you had like, you have your Christmas stuff out, you could grab some actual wrapping paper, you know, and include that in here. I don't know how this is going to look on the video with me standing up, so I'm sorry in advance if it's not good, because my camera's over my head right now. Okay, so I can put that there. That's good, huh? All right, so I'm going to put the glue on the bottom here. And then, okay, this is the corner that I want to be sticking out. I'm going to try to just slide this guy in here. Oops. There we go. How's that? Okay, and I want to do kind of a similar thing with this over here. I'm going to put that there so... Or actually, no, maybe I will put it here. I'm also thinking I might want to put a pine cone in there, so I might move one of these guys over here. Like if I want to put like a pine cone in there. Okay, so that's an option for us right there. And then I also have the garland here as well that we can use around stuff. I'm definitely going to put this around the flowers. I'm going to do kind of the same situation here with the mummy cloth and the Christmas tree. I just wanted to have like a little skirt around it. I also have some like shiny ribbon. I was just looking over there that I can add to it. Like if you have any bits and pieces of Christmas decorations laying around, this is a, you know, primo time to use those up. Because this needs like little pieces and fragments and stuff like that to just kind of, it can lend an air of uniqueness as well, you know, if you're using either bits of wrapping paper that are like a happy memory for you, you know, stuff like that. Because like I like to save every year and paste the wrapping paper into my journal. And it's fun to be able to look back and see what we had. Especially when my kids were little. Now that they're older, Christmas is a lot more about electronics and money. It was so much fun when you got to shop for little toys and stuff. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to put this tree here, so this tree can be like a bookend for these guys here. And then I'm going to need to have something behind this as well, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what that's going to be. Okay. I also have another tree. What I could do, I wonder if I can take the base off of this. Okay, so I cut the end of this off so that it would be shorter. And now I'm just going to add the glue to the bottom of it, and I'm going to put it behind the other tree. That just gives it a set, like, you know, it just gives like a little sense of depth and stuff back there. Looks like I have a little tree now. And you really, oop, you gotta hold him there. Just have a tree that's the same size. It might need more glue. I'm going to add a little bit of either fabric or ribbon there. I'm not sure which. I have this really cool piece of gold ribbon too. So I have some of this fuzzy. I think I'm going to put just a little piece of that back there for the tree. I'm going to use tweezers for this job because I think I will burn my fingers if I don't. This is very soft. Okay, so let's go ahead and don't want to really move this because I am well aware of the fact that like everything will tip that I have on there that's not glued. Okay, so I put a little bit of glue onto this, and then what I'm going to just try to do is put it back here. And not burn my fingers. Okay, so now I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to put in here next. And also I have to figure out about this situation here. Okay, I have some of this like roving stuff too, which I think could be snow, right? I thought about using texture paste, but it takes so long to dry that I just didn't feel like it was the right thing for this project, you know? I'm going to try to carefully tip this up. Okay, that's definitely not enough. I'm thinking about putting an open book behind these trees. I think that might be cute, actually. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to find the natural center. Oh, wait, I don't want that. I definitely want, like, text pages for my... Oops. Okay. And then what we can do to make this more festive is we could put like a little bookmark in it that's like, yeah, let's do that. Okay. I hope this video isn't 5 hours long, you guys, because I am taking a long time to do all this stuff. All right, so I'm gonna put a little glue right there, and I'm gonna put that guy in there, and then I'm gonna get a candy cane for that side. Okay. And I'm also going to put a star on here. Because if I've got it, I might as well use it, right? Okay, so I'm just going to prop this up slightly while I do this book situation here. And I've got the snow in the back there a little bit. I definitely need more of that. But what I'm going to do here is just glue on the bottom of the book and then stick it in there. Behind our tree. If that makes it feel very storybook to me. I don't know if that is just me, but it does feel very storybook. Okay, I know I took something out of here too, so I gotta make sure I put that back. So I have this book here. I probably need a second book right here. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay, I'm gonna do, should we do some more of this stuff? Let's see, scissors. It's like twisted here. It kind of looks like a Santa beard to me. It's too much. And I'm just going to pick it up right here. Okay, so far, so good, right? One of the things I noticed about this is they only look like berries really if you look at them head on. If you look at them to the side, they look kind of dumb. So what I did is I took a piece of the garland, the artificial garland here, and I just wound it into a circle and I made it into a nest for this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that in here and then put that on here so that it looks better and it kind of camouflages the weird berries on the side look. Of course, I just touched it. And then this can go in here. I might need to add a second pine cone, huh? Let's see what we got over here. All of my stuff always gets out of, ooh, you know what we could add is some of our flowers that we made instead, and then that would be a little bit smaller, you know. Let's see here. Okay, here's the one I put the leaves on. Okay, so let me figure out how this is gonna go here. Here. Okay, I kind of want the like snow pieces to look like drifts of snow. I know that's maybe silly, but if it's like hints of white as you go, you know, look through the bookcase, I think that'd be kind of cool. So does that look okay? Yeah. Okay, so I think what I'm going to definitely do is, I can't even put that in there. What I think, okay, so what was I definitely going to do? Okay, so I wanted to do the stockings on the corners, so maybe we should do that next. I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. And also, oh, actually, you know what? I probably need to also figure out the card garland. Because if I'm going to put that, I think I just pulled that apart. If I am going to put the card garland on here, I need to know where that's going to go. And that's probably going up here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. And then we'll just hang that up there. And then I'm going to put something kind of on either end here to disguise where I'm going to glue it. Okay, so I have that there, and then I just need to come up with something to go on these corners. That one does not feel sturdy. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with my stockings here on the corners. And to do that, I think I'll just do like a little bit of this mummy cloth on each area where the stocking's gonna go. And it also hides this ugly edge. To do that with. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do instead is use the garland to make a base here for the candles. Okay, now we'll cut that. And then what I will do, I think I might try the berry trick. That one looks okay. All right, let's do a second. Oops. Do a second one here. So I'm just going to put a little glue down there. That up. Come here, little buddy. There we go. All right, so now I have berries all around my little crown here, or well, it's actually going to be my candle holder. That in there. All right, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom here so this all sticks together. I guess that's a lot of glue, huh? All right. Now I just want to take a quick look-see at my spot here that I'm doing. It's possible I want to put this... Okay, so let's see here. I want to put something else around this, and I'm not sure if it's going to be white or green. Let's try the white first, and see how we make out. I'm not sure if it'll be too much white with the candles, or it will be okay. Okay, so let's put some glue on the bottom here and put that in there. And then I can always add stuff around it if I like. Oh, geez Louise. Let's just put that. Hopefully I didn't just completely blow that. There we go. It's very slightly crooked from me dropping it. Just gonna try to prop that up a little. Okay, so I know exactly the thing to do. So we're going to take one of our little books that we made, and we're going to use that as our little back thing. See, this is why I like the pages inside don't really matter, because I'm going to actually glue this so that it's shut. And it's going to help stabilize my wonky candle that I dropped. I don't want it to be too messy with the moss. The moss is extremely messy, in case anybody tried it at Halloween. So I'm trying to keep it as not messy as possible, because I want to be able to take the books on and off the bookshelf. If I didn't need to take the books on and off the bookshelf, the moss is really good for packing the backs of things, so that you can, oops, this is the wrong glue, to like keep things where you want them to go. But if you're going to be removing stuff from it, it's going to make it kind of a pain in the neck, because you're going to have moss pieces like just everywhere. Also, when you guys, ouch, are working on yours, you won't be working on it laying down, so it won't, you'll have a little bit easier time making sure everything's level. I'm going to pick that up and have it face me for a second so that I can fix the candle. Or actually, the candle might be fine if it's just, if it's level. Okay, the other thing that I want to put in here is this here. This like little folding situation. And I think I'm going to put some of the greenery behind it. Yeah, I've burned my fingers like 6 times tonight. Okay. I need to have it like, you know, okay. 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 Alright, so I'm going to start gluing so that I can like start building this up into like a actual piece here. So I'm going to stick my card in the middle of my garland. And if you don't have garland or aren't using garland, you could use the, what do you call it? Any type of ribbon, yarn, anything that you have. I like this fuzzy stuff. I just had to try a couple of things there just to see what I'm working with. Sometimes you just gotta feel it out, right? I'm just gonna use a bit of this stuff for leaves. Okay. Oh, I think I need more glue. I'm gonna use regular glue for right now. Okay, now I've got a new glue stick, so put this in here. Okay, now I'm gonna put this in here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do quickly before I do this? I'm gonna trim this so it's kind of like flush with the end of the card there. Just because I think that will give me less problems. All right, and then I'm gonna just run the glue along the underside of this. Here. And then we are going to kind of put this in here behind the stockings here. I probably should have set the camera up behind my shoulder, but I don't think I have a tripod tall enough for that. Okay, so let's see here. So we've got our books. Make sure I get them in the right way here. It'd be nice if they were kind of like crooked, right? This makes it look more like a real bookshelf here. Okay, I want to have a little bit, I wish I dyed more of this. Now, I did like a failed batch that turned out like this dark green color, but I might end up using it. Because I think I might need more of this, because I like the way the thread looks. Because just when you need like a little something something, this is the something something. And if you don't have mummy cloth, just you could just use regular thread too. Oops, I have a string. And I think let's see. So we'll either do like a pine cone right there. It's kind of cute. And then maybe a little drift of snow in there. I'll show it to you guys in 1 second. Okay, so hopefully that might be too much. Oh, you know what I'll do? Is I'll just mix it with this thread here. Just to kind of cut the white and just kind of blend it in a little bit better. And then we can also add one of these flowers here. I meant to make a few more and I forgot. This one doesn't have any leaves on it, so I'll just put a little bit of thread on there, and then I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. So just a little glue on there. I'm just going to kind of try to avoid getting burned. We can take our little fluff of snow, put that on there. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm going to stick that back in there. Okay. Guess who did not glue the pine cone in? I don't think I like this in there. I think I could just go ahead and maybe add this down here into this one here, because it's not fitting back there in like a pleasing way. Okay, so, okay, let's see here. Okay, now okay, so I have this, I think, is this the only, I think this is the only fake book I have left. I made a bunch, but I don't know what I did with them all. Okay. Oh, okay, I still do have another present, though. So it's likely that, let's see here. My desk is an abomination. Okay. That's too big. Could maybe go up there. We could tie this with a ribbon. Does that look better in there, do you think? Oh. All this fluff is not supposed to be there. Okay, so I have one group of 3 candles left, which I could fit in here. I don't know about that, though. So let's okay, for starters here, I think I'm going to tie this in a bow around these candles, and then I will just do like a little base for them again, like with the garland, I think. Come on. Okay. Gotta make my loops a little smaller here. Okay, there we go. I just want this to stay in place. And I'm just going to give the ends a little bit of a trim here. Oops. Yeah. I have a little bit of this greenery left over here. This wire in here is pretty sturdy, I will say. Okay, and then that can go in there like that. And then we'll just put some glue under here to hold it all together. Okay. And then this can go in here. This is going to go behind the cards. Yikes. I don't know if I made it in time to get the glue. I might have. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I have my like extra books that I made here. So I think I'm going to use these as my props in that corner up there. Alright, so I'm going to fan this one out and glue it. And then also, I'll show this to you guys in 1 second, I'm sorry. I just want to do this while it's... Okay, so I'm going to tip this down so you can kind of see that. So there's the... Oops, you need to get out of the way there. There's the book back here, and then the candles here, and then I'm going to add in some flowers here with probably some thread for pretend leaves. So I'm just going to glue these two guys together. And then I'll add in my pretend greenery back here. It just isn't too bad for pretend greenery. Do I have any more? I sure do. Forgot to cut the white little strings off. Okay, and I can just add my flowers right in there. Hopefully we're coming to the end of the glue gun portion of this situation here. No, I have to fix one of my hinges. I should have left it longer. It needed longer to dry, but I was, you know, impatient, obviously. But I'll fix that shortly. And I'm going to trim this glue here where I've got too much of it. All right. So now what I need to do is some exterior work on here and get some of the outside of this decorated and looking hopefully a little bit more festive. I think it might be fun to have some snowdrifts along the top of our bookcase here. I mean, I hope that doesn't look dumb, but I think it will be fun to have it, you know, kind of have snow across the top here. I think I'm abandoning my ability. I've abandoned my ability to close this on a permanent basis. So, but we could do, let me just stretch this out. Yeah, I am gonna do it. Let's hope it looks okay. we can do is kind of pull it up here. And then just have it kind of drift along. I'm going to pull this apart. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is pull these books out one by one, and I'm going to put the numbers on the spine. And what I'll do when I edit is I'll speed this up so you guys don't have to watch me do every one. I put way too much glue on that one. Way too much. I should have wiped it off before I stuck it on there. It needs to be like a super small amount of glue. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put one in there. I'm going to get out number 2 and do number 2. And I'm just going to do this the whole way through. I'll speed this up in editing so you don't have to watch me do this. And you don't have to put the numbers on it. You can put them on the other side too if you're like, oh, it's not the aesthetic, you know, that I want or whatever. But, you know, the whole, you know, project is about being able to put put little tiny presents or notes or whatever in these boxes. So yeah, that's why you did all the hard work, right? All right, here it is. All the numbers are on. I added this hope and I added the silver Christmas tree on the top there. I hope you can see that. It doesn't close, but that's okay. The hinges still work for me to be able to do this and do this. So everything did end up working out fine here, and I fixed the bottom hinge, just added a little glue to that, and it is all back to normal. And so maybe, I'm not sure, it's tough. Leave your glue. I would leave the glue overnight on the hinges if you do that. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the project, and I can't wait to see your bookcases, and I will see you guys on Monday for the first day of the 12 Days of Winter Wonder. Thank you so much for joining me.